Hello, today is a new day. It's Wednesday, and we have a new section called
Review your favorite album. So this today we we have chosen Metallica's Master of Puppets because why not? So this album, well, I'm gonna interview Rod here, and I'm taking a little break right now for me for the guitar because it's been quite intense for the last 40 days. Despite we're not on tour,
70 days.
70 days. So,
Yeah.
despite we're not on tour, I've been playing a lot lately, more than ever, and also in the evenings, just to remember other tunes, and also working in another musical projects. My hand said, okay, we need a break. But Rod is here, so he can show us a little bit. So we're gonna do this sort of why we like so much this album. So I'm gonna start with Rodrigo here. So
And some anecdotes about it, because I have a couple.
okay,
Yes.
so we're gonna interview him, but he's gonna deliver the questions. Why not? Okay,
So tell me, ask me.
Why did you like so much Master of Puppets, musically speaking? Well, let's
Musically
not
speaking.
talk about music only at the moment.
It's well, composition wise, is incredible. The same performing. I mean, what it says here is, for me, is true.
The greatest, number one greatest heavy metal album of all times.
According to Rolling Stone, what is it?
Rolling Stones.
Yeah, People's Readers Poll. So, why? I don't know. It has great playing. Metallica was.
Can I
yeah.
reframe the questions also?
Yeah, so-
I'm gonna ask Rodrigo, what would he say to somebody that doesn't like metal music at all, and they just hear this album like a bunch of dogs
Barking.
like, barking with a lot of weed, and I don't know, a stone dog, probably, you know.
Uh-huh.
So what would you say to that somebody that is like, but that's not music. That
You
sounds
know,
like
but that's what we've been doing for years, you and I. When we started playing, I remember one of our aims was to introduce people who would not give Metallica a chance. When we play like metal tracks in acoustic, they say like, "Oh, that's so cool!" Like Orion, for example, in our first album, and people say, "That's great. Have you heard of Metallica's?" No. It's like, well, this is the same, but just without distortion, you know. I understand the sound of the distorted guitars for some people is like a no-go, and that's fine. That's fine, but and it's not for everyone. This kind of music, I agree, but it's not my intention to convince everyone to listen to this kind of music. But why I like it is because I think Metallica, in a way, was, as many of you know, was important for me to learn Metallica's tunes in order to play guitar, to know how to play guitar.
can you show us a little bit?
Yeah, the first thing I learned from Metallica was from this album, although I had Battery. Well, you know, I heard Kill 'Em All before, which was in '83, 3 years before this, '82, I think.
That's funny because I heard the first Metallica album I heard was it was
Red
a
Line.
compilation. No, it was a compilation between Rider Lighting and this album.
Okay.
So the first ever Metallica tune was Leper Messiah. That was the first one.
Okay.
So
Uh-huh.
what happened? Sorry, I interrupted you. So you heard Kill 'Em
Yeah,
All first.
I heard Kill 'Em All first, but I was super young. It was like 9 or something, 10. And then years later, Metallica's Master Puppet came out, and then my brother and myself went by the album, came back, and we played this. I remember
that's the first track on this album.
the first track called Battery, and I remember the guitar wasn't in the right tune at the same. I think we had to play it in F, and we didn't know how to detune it or whatever. Because this album is not detuned, it's not in regular. I think our guitars back in the day, they were like 1/2 step up, you know. So we're trying to figure it out in F. You know, it's like what? But you know, even the beginning of the album with this, which is very classical kind of guitar, because James likes it. Listen, here it is. If you you never heard it before, here's your opportunity to listen to the first track. This thing, like that was just, to me, was like an orgasm.
But this is 1996.
Yeah.
So this was not played in the radio. You see, there's something that we need to understand. All the people that we love metal music, I think the first thing we loved about it is that, first of all, for you to like it, you kind of need to be like an outcast from society, but also from the other styles of music.
Mainstream.
Not just mainstream, it's just like, because at some point a lot of music wasn't mainstream, like blues or jazz or any of that, but eventually it was accepted, and there was a point where jazz was here as a like a horrible sound, you know, like, and I don't know, this, I think Henry Ford, one of those guys, like, they invented the cars. He hated bebop jazz music, and he thought it was just like bad.
Sound of the devil.
It was the sound of the devil, and it was just bad, and all this. He had this crusade to bring country music for people to kind of not being involved in this bebop jazz thing, you know. So at that time, the outcasts were the jazz bebop players.
Yeah.
So metal music was for a long time also like an outcast music. It was not easy to listen. It's aggressive to the ear, but also it is like a counter. It plays a counter sort of messages of what is established, what is the status quo. So when you are super young, like we liked it, we liked that. But at least I loved that. Like the more aggressive and the more not friendly to the ear, it was just like, yes, I like it. But I guess with these guys was that they come up with all of these aggressiveness sound. They have all those elements, but they also have melody and they also have
that's
harmony.
I was gonna say that.
So, and I think this is like one of the tipping points on music, especially metal music, that it would make the difference. I think this album, probably Ride the Lightning too, because the Ride the Lightning was before this.
This is kind of a version of the Ride the Lightning, but it's improved version of that album. But I saw these guys wearing these clothes, and to me that was cool, because I was used to listen to Motley Crue and
Cinderella.
all this. Yeah. And I remember my brother and myself, we literally got the albums, like the these vinyls from all those bands, and threw them away.
No.
I mean, yeah.
Really?
Threw them away. My brother kept Motley Crue, but
Kiss?
No, nothing. I mean, I got rid of a lot of bands.
Poison.
Well, Poison never liked it, but this a lot of bands from the glam era, you know, and Night Ranger. bands like that. And,
all those bands, so for the ones who don't know, those bands were the guys who like they had makeup. And then
Yes.
it was kids. The first ones
Yeah,
they
yeah,
did
yeah.
like makeup and they played like a character and they played like metal riffs.
Well,
But
yeah.
well, they had
Kind of.
like a heavy sound,
Yeah.
you know. And then you
Hard
got all
rock.
the glam, and all these guys they paint their faces as women and all of these things.
Yeah.
And I wasn't impressed either with those at
Yeah.
all. I think I liked
Because musically,
some
like Twisted
Motley Crue.
Sister, some Motley
some of
Crue,
the
but musically they were way like inferior than this, because they didn't really offer this skillfulness that these bands were actually
melody,
doing. Yeah.
harmony, everything.
So, and I saw them just playing real music, super difficult to play, and just wearing normal, like.
normal clothes,
Well, yeah, clothes.
but they were
To me,
they
that was
didn't
normal.
have like they had no makeup. No,
Yeah.
but not for your dad or I don't know.
Yeah,
you know,
but I was
uh,
like, cool. I don't need
it's-
makeup then, to play in a band.
yeah. Like my granddad used to say, but why they look like girls? Because they have all of this long hair. And so those guys are super skinny.
Yes.
So then that's
And-
but they look like girls.
Yeah.
And really tight jeans.
Tight jeans. Anyway, so we listened to this album many times, and then we started playing, pushing ourselves to play better the guitar, because otherwise we couldn't play Metallica. So then we started playing like this riff, the. That's so difficult to play in acoustic.
Oh my goodness. But also in electric.
Yeah.
Play it properly.
And the tempo with the counter tempo with the drums, I couldn't play that for years. Like for years, I couldn't even figure it out, because we didn't have Pro Tools to slow it down.
Or now
and-
with those apps.
Yeah,
so
all the
you
apps. Don't use
your-
those apps too much, Pablito.
don't
This is for you.
Use your ear. Well, there's musicians they know how to read. But
Yeah.
this music is not for read. You won't. I don't think you can even write this thing like.
Well,
for
you can,
regular.
but yeah, you can, but it's like
You can figure it out.
yeah, it's better.
And I
All
love
the
when
riffs.
now it's my time. So now the one I loved was Disposable Heroes.
No. I'm confusing that.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
No, that's from the right lining. What am I talking? That's Creeping Dead. This is but something pretty cool that this
We actually
guy.
played that one
Yeah,
at some point.
at some point.
We also play Orion and we
Yeah.
played that one.
But James Hetfield used to play, compared to the other guitar players, a lot of the guitar players were playing the alternate picking here.
So you can explain
Just going up and
With
down,
a-
up and down, up and down.
like what his means up and down, down,
Down, stroke and up.
Yeah.
So this is what still a lot of guitar players, even
From
sometimes
the
here,
metal.
instead of doing
all down, down,
all
down,
down, they do the alternate. It's easier.
But it doesn't sound consistent.
It doesn't sound the same. And James just used to play everything down. So I think anyway, even
And
Kirk,
play the cool
even
riff then
Kirk
the
Hammett.
I remember I played that one. I loved it so much that I rewinded. That beat where everybody stops and only the guitarist. And I always thought was Kirk Hammett. In
No,
my
he
head
wish-
it was
he
he
actually, yeah, he actually,
he wish.
he actually was one of the ones playing alternate,
Yeah.
whilst James was playing like a Master of Puppets. He was alternating.
Yeah.
That's why in the recordings, James would record all the guitars, the rhythm
All
guitars.
the rhythm
Yeah.
guitars.
And this one's. Oh yeah. No, I don't remember. Well, anyway, so all these riffs played super tight in the recording. They say, I remember when I was buying all these guitar magazines, that the way he recorded was 4 guitars doing exactly the same. Well, sometimes harmonies, but when it was about the... So 2 in the left, 2 in the right, doing exactly the same to make it sound super fat and powerful and precise.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there you go. Anything else, or should we just? I think we speak too much today.
Yeah, we talked too much. Well, just what's your favorite track on that album?
This album would be Master of Puppets
Of course.
and Disposable Heroes.
Yeah,
And
well,
then
battery.
Oh, Battery. But that would definitely would be Master of Puppets
Masters,
and
yeah.
Disposable Heroes. And everything. So the full album is great.
Orion.
Orion, oh my
course.
goodness, of course.
It's all 8 tracks. I mean, you probably know the album.
Yes.
You probably love the album, but I guess some of you don't like Metallica, but just and
And you don't
a couple
have to
of
like it,
things.
but it has a very interesting things.
I remember like 5 years ago I was in Norway and they played there, and Robert invited me backstage to do the warm up, to be at the warm up, and they have like a room where they warm up, and Lars asked me, what do you want to hear? And I was like, well, any from Master Puppets. Like, fuck. And James was like, I'm so tired to play. So they played Battery, for me, a little bit of that one, and they played The Machine Incorporated, which is...
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
So that was a personal request that I had for them, and it was great. I was there. And they've been, as you know probably in the story, they touch based at some point in early 2007 when we went to the States for the first time, and we met them. I think we talked about it already in one of the stories. Is
And
that
Convoy.
true? And Convoy. Well, it's part of our journey that you can hear in the story, which is every Friday.
But just before we go, I like to say about this album also, it's a very interesting album from musically speaking, because it's really proposed a new sound entirely in the history of rock and roll. And also one of the valuable things was that Cliff Burton, which was the bass player, original Metallica's bass player, was his last album. He died in I think 1980 when this album was out.
Yeah,
and
and I think 87.
Yeah.
They were touring that album. They were opening for Ozzy Osbourne.
So if you know Metallica, you know before Master of Puppets, when Cliff was there, you can hear all great influences. He was a music head. He loved all sorts of music. He was an incredible bass player. He's just so creative. He wrote most of the music along with James and Lars Ulrich. So you can know, if you know the story, you know he was the one who influenced them to hear another style of music, another jazz and 60s rocks and everything. So I think that's why this album also is just so incredible. It was the last album Cliff Burton played here, so.
And I think it's the best Metallica album for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
So Master Puppets.
Master of Puppets, everybody.